Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of KTN Newsdesk. My name is Edith Kimani. Thank you for making time to be with the news as it happens.
That's right. My name is Boni Tunya. You're on the news desk. Coming up in this bulletin, we'll tell you of the ongoing investigations into the Anglo Leasing scandal. Stay tuned.
Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai just this morning handed over boxes of important information to the Swiss ambassador in the joint investigation on the Anglo Leasing scandal.
Swiss authorities are expecting to probe some companies in Switzerland on the illegal flow of money that would lead to their prosecution.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission officials also intimated that the investigations could be coming to an end.
Now the move comes even as Anglo Leasing suspects Deepa Kamani and brothers went to court seeking to stop the Kenyan government from releasing any information to the Swiss authorities.
There is every intention to get to the bottom of this problem, and we do hope that in the very, very near future, the Kenyan people will see the outcome of these collaborative processes. They are investigating 5 live files, 5 live cases. Therefore, in the fullness of time, and this morning they have assured me to use the language I have heard from them, they are on the tail end, end of quote, tail end of the investigation.
A few years ago, a request for legal assistance was introduced to Switzerland by the Republic of Kenya. I think we delivered. Now it's Kenya's turn, and believe me, I'm quite sure that any new request from one of the two sides will be answered properly and swiftly, as has been the case today.
And we shall continue to cooperate with any partner that requires any information or any assistance in regard to investigations that touch on our country.
Well, from one case that has garnered international attention to a local one, specifically in Mombasa, where the High Court there has granted the prosecution 1 month to complete the investigations on Lamu Governor Issa Timamy of Mpeketoni killings.
Right, the prosecutions yesterday urged the court to grant the police 2 months to enable them finalize what they termed as complex investigations on the governor, who is facing murder and terrorism charges.
Now, they argued that some potential witnesses have been displaced by the series of attacks in Lamu.
The High Court Judge Martin Muya has, however, ruled that the 1 month he has granted is enough. Hearing date has been set for August the 18th, when the governor is expected to be officially charged.
Close to 100 people have been killed and hundreds displaced since the attacks blamed on local militia started last month.
All I want to assure Kenyans, again, is to tell you that I had nothing to do with this. And I am sure, let the state be given enough time to do the investigations, and I'm sure the truth will come out.
Time will not change the true facts, that he was not involved in any of these issues, and we are confident that at the end of the day, if proper investigations are done, he will not be charged.
The Starehe Member of Parliament Maina Kamanda has recorded a statement at the Central Police Station following allegations that he made remarks amounting to hate speech at a rally 2 months ago. Now, the legislator blamed the Law Society of Kenya for his plight, saying the body's chair, Eric Mutua, was biased against him.
Wanasema kuna mambo tulisema na sisi tumekuwa hapa kuambia ile tulisema, na tukawaeleza ya kwamba sisi ni watu ambao warinda nchi ambao ni wa usalama. Sisi tunajua Nairobi ni ya watu yote, na jukumu yetu hata wakati ya mkutano ilikuwa ni ya kwamba sisi kama wajumbe ambao tumechaguliwa tumekula kiapo ya kurinda serikali hii na kurinda katiba ya nchi hii ya Kenya. Kuna kitu kingine?
From politics, there's some positive news here. And security guards working for a local farm in Kisumu were yesterday issued with certificates of appreciation after they subdued 3 armed thugs who attempted to rob a woman. The two guards stationed at an apartment in Kisumu's Milimani estate reacted swiftly by blocking all escape routes and pouncing on the criminals after they trailed a woman into the compound with an intent of committing a crime. Police on patrol also responded and found the suspect subdued and disarmed. The guards recovered a homemade pistol in the confrontation that took place on Tuesday evening and lasted only a few minutes.
You know, as a company, we do give a token of appreciation to some of our employees who have done outstandingly well in their assignments. And you will agree with me that to challenge an armed criminal and to recover a firearm requires a lot of courage. And that is the reason that we have held this small ceremony, just to appreciate these employees and to encourage them.
And we would urge other companies, those who give security services, to work closely with the police and be able to secure the community as well as their clients.
I think it's a great thing that we reward our heroes. Yes, that's quite something.
Yeah, but something that is really not quite something is a section of doctors in Nyeri who are threatening to take industrial action against the Nyeri County government over delayed salaries.
24 doctors have raised complaints against the county government, saying that they have only received payment for 8 days for the month of June, despite having worked for the entire month.
Now, the chairman of the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Doctors Union, Victor Ngeni, said others had not been paid for 3 months. However, the county executive in charge of health in Nyeri, that's Dr. Charles Kithenji, said that the 24 doctors experiencing the current problem are post-internship doctors that are yet to be absorbed fully into the county system.
That our doctors are suffering a lot of adverse consequences in the counties as a result of poor management of the human resource function. Recently, we came to be informed that at least 4 doctors have not been paid the salary since the month of April, and a further 23 doctors, nearly half the doctors in the county of Nyeri, have not been paid for the month of June, and it's not clear whether they're going to be paid in the coming days.
Not delayed paying salary for any worker who works with that, including medical doctors. The only delay is this one for post-intern, for the reason I've just explained. So the claim that we have not paid on time is not true and has no basis.
Let's now look at a story that's been ongoing for weeks, and it's members of the Nakuru County Assembly who are the latest to oppose a proposal by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to reduce their allowances for alleged wastage of public funds. Now, the MCAs who have been accused by the Commission say that they're being unfairly targeted. Members of the County Assemblies, that's what they're saying. They say members of the National Assembly and those of the Senate should also be put on the spot for misusing public funds.
Wakati bunge ilisema itamung'oa, siku hizi haogai maneno ya National Parliament. Sasa ndio apate nafasi ya kuonekana yeye ni mtu, agonge tu MCAs ndio aonekane anafanya kazi. Hapana, sisi tumesema tumekataa. Na tunasema hivi, we shall not going to operate within a ceiling yenye wanataka kuweka. Ati waseme assembly hii ioperate within a ceiling of 500 million. The current expenditure assembly kama hii ya Nakuru, it is over 340 million. Allowances yenye inapatikana within and around, it is about 140. Kusema hivyo ni kumaanisha hakuna kazi nyingine yote itafanywa hapa. Tunasema kama ceiling inawekwa kwa assemblies, ceiling iwekwe kwa bunge ya national, na ceiling iwekwe kwa Senate.
It is not us who sets the allowances. It is Serem. She sets the allowances. she put the maximum we have earned, and we are asking humbly that let her come overboard and say, this is what you have taken away, which I did not mandate you to take. Yes. We are willing to give back. Yes. But not to undermine us to that level.
Well, they're willing to give back, but police have intercepted over 200 kilograms of game meat along the Isinya-Kiserian road. The meat was reportedly destined for a popular meat market in Nairobi.
Police and Kenya Wildlife Service officers intercepted the uninspected meat along the Isinya-Kiserian road. The 200-kilogram consignment was reportedly destined for Bama Market in Nairobi. Two suspects, Joseph Lemayan Lesale and Jonathan Leyan Osoi, were found in possession of the meat together with a panga, a knife and some polythene bags. After interrogation by police officers, the suspects allegedly confessed that while the meat goes for 40 shillings a kilogram in the bush, they intended to sell it at 400 shillings per kilogram in Nairobi.
Tulipokea taarifa kutoka kwa wananchi ya kwamba kuna watu ambao wanajaribu kusafirisha nyama kutoka kwa wanyamapori ambao ilikuwa inaelekezwa kupelekwa Nairobi sehemu ya Bama. Tulipopata hiyo taarifa ya habari, tukaeleza maafisa wetu ambao waliweka mikakati na kukimbizana nao.
Kenya Wildlife Service officers in Isinya chalk up their success to the new method of catching poachers by using locals posing as taxi drivers and laying traps for alleged poachers transporting game meat. Kenya Wildlife Service Assistant Director Julius Cheptei said they will work on poachers tirelessly. The two suspects were immediately arraigned at a Kajiado Magistrates Court. Wilkiston Abwa, KTN.
Which begs the question, where do you have your nyama choma?
I'm vegetarian.
Wow.
No, I'm not. But, you know, for more of these stories and others like that, including one on poaching, do go to www.standardmedia.co.ke. James Smart did a recent interview on the same. You can find it if you just click on Morning Express.
That's right.
There's an icon there.
Great, time to pay the bills, but coming up on the other half of this show, I will tell you why Telkom Orange is recalling expatriates. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching KTN Newsdesk. Time for some business headlines now. In Telkom Kenya has announced a raft of changes to its top management that has seen local executives take over. This follows a July 4th France Telkom board meeting held in France, where the parent company decided to recall executives it had seconded to the Kenyan unit. In the shake-up, Masi Nduku has been appointed the new head of human resource. Ivy Ngana takes over the legal and regulatory affairs department, while Isaac Muthama takes over as the new chief mass market officer. In a statement, Telkom Kenya CEO Mikhail Gosein says the changes are expected to steer the company in a new direction as it seeks to grow its market share. The news comes as the company announced that its revenues were up 8% in the first half of the year, as mobile voice and data grew by 34%. There has been a talk of planned takeover of Telkom Kenya, and the news of recalling the experts only seeks to reinforce those claims. A Nigerian company, Megatech, is said to have already had a bid of 25 billion shillings takeover of the company.
Well, from there, we have a look at what's happening internationally. And where do we begin? A holiday village designed for disabled vacationers has opened in the Jura Mountains of France, offering a much-needed rest for disabled people and their carers. The 18-room and apartments are kitted out to cover the needs of mobility-impaired guests and come with a trained nursing staff too. But the center provides something other spots for the disabled do not: rest for the caregiver.
François and his daughter Laure need a vacation, and this brand new complex is designed for families just like theirs, living with a severe disability. Laura suffers from spastic quadriplegia, which has paralyzed her limbs. She requires constant care, and her sole nourishment comes from special injections that must be kept cool.
Ça demande en fait une logistique très importante.
It requires very complex organization. but it helps that they have a special refrigerator that can be set at just the right temperature. And everything was ready when we arrived.
At Les Six Vacation Village, 18 rooms and bungalows are kitted out to cover the needs of mobility-impaired guests and come with the services of a trained nursing staff too. But the center provides something most handicapped accessible spots do not: rest for the caregiver too.
You can close these doors and separate the common area from the handicapped person's bathroom and bedroom.
Caregivers get their own space and their own free time. While nurses are seeing to the disabled guests, staff members offer other services to their family, like massage or physical therapy. A half-hour break like this is a rare treat for Jean-François, whose life outside of work is entirely dedicated to the care of his daughter.
It does a world of good. I don't have to always be watching the clock. I have time to talk with the physical therapist and to even focus on myself. Now this is what I call a break. I don't have to rush off to give Laure her medicine or because she's not well, or to help her back into her wheelchair.
A week subsidized by a French medical charity costs a family on average €450, all services included. It's a weight off those who already struggle with the costs of living with a disability.
We set up a dual organization where, while we care for the caregivers, the care receivers get to try out other very specialized activities that are adapted for them.
While her father rests, Laure is headed off on an adventure. She's using a Simgo, a sort of all-terrain wheelchair, to trek through the forest and finally to enjoy a vacation at last.
An absolutely wonderful story. But we come back home where the Supreme Court has reinstated Okoth Obado as Migori governor, setting aside a Court of Appeal decision that nullified his election. Now, in a ruling delivered by Justice Jackton Ojwang, the Supreme Court said that the Court of Appeal in Kisumu exceeded its jurisdiction by considering new evidence while making the ruling in March. The Court of Appeal had nullified Obado's election on grounds of irregularities, intimidation and voter bribery. Addressing his supporters immediately after the ruling, Governor Okoth Obado urged residents of Migori County to join hands for the benefit of Migori County by working together.
We have been vindicated. We held very, very peaceful elections. They were free and fair, and I was validly elected. And that one has today. So let them come and join us. I'm calling upon all of them to come and join us. If they have good ideas, our doors are wide open. But I know, ladies and gentlemen, that we still have a lot to do down there, because the people we are dealing with are up to no good.
To more sports matters, and the Kenyan team to the 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow has finally received half of its overseas allowance from the government after threatening to boycott the Games. The cycling team, however, is facing a different challenge after 4 cyclists were dropped out of the team right before the scheduled departure yesterday.
So have a good one. See you tomorrow.
These have been the scenes at the Commonwealth Games residential training camp at the Moi International Sports Centre, Kasarani. Athletes have been awaiting the overseas allowances. The threat to boycott the Games, however, paid off as they finally received half of the allowances on Wednesday afternoon. However, as most of the participants celebrate, 4 cyclists' hopes of representing the country at the Commonwealth Games for the first time hung in the balance. Doreen Msoliza is still trying to come into terms with her aborted trip in the last minute.
Accreditation ni jaza tu pamoja na team, lakini sasa kuzileta tu kupewa kwa camp tulipewa tukiwa airport. So wenye walikuwa na distribute yangu haikuwa.
What is shocking to many is how she was informed about her lack of accreditation. The team management waited for her to go through the required procedures at the airport only to shock her about her accreditation.
Nimesikia tu vibaya sana. Na ninaomba kwa wakati huu mchache ambao umebaki kama ninaweza saidiwa.
Visa
haijapatikana bado, haijatoka. Ndio tunashindwa haijatokaje, na tuli register sisi wote pamoja za team.
Caroline Evelyn Ondiege, an off-road cyclist, is also awaiting in anticipation as to what will become of her Commonwealth Games dream as she awaits a response from the National Olympic Committee.
Nasikia wakachukua bagi yangu wakafikisha airport, which means hata sijui nitaanzia wapi kushughulikia bagi yangu ndio nirudi nayo.
The dropped cyclists have been relocated to Kasarani from their Thika training base. The Kenya cycling chairman Julius Mwangi, who spoke to KTN on phone, says he has presented the cyclists' complaints to the National Olympic Committee. However, the Commonwealth Games Chief Executive Officer James Chacha says the cyclists were simply locked out due to late entries from the Cycling Association, adding that their fate lies with the Commonwealth Games Federation.
Bit sad there, but KRA will play host to the coastal side of Bandari FC, the second leg of the Kenya Premier League Thursday evening at the Nyayo National Stadium. During their first leg encounter, host Bandari beat KRA 2-0 at the Mbaraki's sports grounds. The day's game will see KRA, who over the weekend suffered the 1-0 defeat in the hands of bottom-placed Nakuru All-Stars, and will come into the match seeking to redeem themselves. On Friday, Muhoroni Youth will play host to Sony Sugar in yet another KPL fixture. And the president of the International Olympics Committee, IOC, Thomas Bach, officially opened the Sports for Hope Center in Port-au-Prince in Haiti. The presence of the Republic of Haiti President Michel Matley and United Nations UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon straight after the terrible earthquake that hit the country 4 years ago. The Olympic movement, through the National Olympics Committee of Haiti, committed itself to providing aid to rebuild Haiti's sporting infrastructure as a part of the UN's reconstruction process. The Sports for Hope Center features modern sporting facilities and will offer a wide range of educational programs, health services, and community activities aimed at rebuilding local communities, promoting social values, and giving Haiti's citizens a better future. The center was a joint initiative between the IOC and its key stakeholders and the Haitian government. It comes just weeks after the signing of a historic agreement between the IOC and the UN aimed at strengthening cooperation between the two organizations in projects designed to contribute to a better and more peaceful world through sports.
Time now to wind up this edition of KTN Newsdesk. We thank you for your company. But before we go, here's your Did You Know fact. A study by J.A. Reid and E.M. Blank. I don't know who these people are. I think J.A. Reid was a pastor and an evangelist. Anyway, the study showed that men are more likely to get a job if they had a mustache. I don't know if I believe that.
I should grow mine. That's what you're saying.
For Movember, maybe.
They said better job or just a job?
Are more likely to get a job. You already have a job.
It's fine.
Okay, it's fine. This is where we wind up this edition of KTN Newsdesk. I'm Edith Kimani. Good afternoon.
My name is Bonitunya. Good afternoon.